Yeah, I am Kirstie Lilith. I am a divine channel and animal communicator, and I'm passionate about giving both people and animals their authentic voice and supporting and guiding them on their spiritual journey so they can embody their true selves.
And I've just been working with you for, I think, is it coming up to 3 years now? Helping,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
along my own journey. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's been fun, but it's been eye-opening.
Yeah, working with me is not necessarily fun, but it's all good.
Yeah, so I'd love to start with the first question, which is, what does being strong mean to you?
Yeah, thank you. I've loved the whole concept of what you're doing and the whole concept of strong and that strength, because it is something I consider is a misconception in society of how we perceive strong. To me, being strong is being completely rooted in yourself, just unshakable in who you are, and to allow all parts of yourself to be seen, the shadow and the light, without any need for explanation or judgment or anything. And to me, that's what really being strong is.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much. Can you share an experience when you had to be strong, and how did you handle that?
Yeah, this was an interesting one, because there's several, I suppose, scenarios that I can think of. I think that everybody experiences moments where they've really had to step into that strength and owning who they are. Uh, but I wanted to share an experience that I had when I was in Tahiti a couple of years ago. I was guided to go and swim with the humpback whales in the Pacific Ocean, and that was a whole journey in itself. But actually, when I was there, I arrived and completely unprepared for any of the physical challenges or any of the the 3D stuff that I would be experiencing there, and being able to navigate being on the boat for a couple of weeks with suffering from severe seasickness, swimming in the ocean, which I had never done before. Um, I know, idiotic. Most people would prepare. I just follow my guidance and just swan up at these places. And that I really had to let go. I really had to surrender and allow my vulnerability to be seen, to cry, to be angry, to be allow the judgments, the fears, everything to all rise within me. And that took a lot of strength to, in my opinion, to do that, to be able to get on that boat every day, to be horrendously seasick, being in the ocean when I'm terrified of being in the ocean, and then also having sharks swimming past me, as well as the whales. There was a lot going on. And to me, it required a lot of surrendering and a lot of allowing myself to be vulnerable, because when you're in a tiny little boat surrounded by 10 other people, heaving your guts up over the side of the boat when you're a very introverted person and very shy, that takes to me a lot of strength to go through that and allow people to see that part of me, and not to close off thinking that I have to present a particular image of being strong or being who I am. To me, strength is allowing all of that to be seen.
Mm. That's a It's really resonant, as you know, because yeah, I've always struggled with that vulnerability and letting it be seen, because of the I've collapsed the story about vulnerability being weak rather
Mm.
than strong. So yeah, it's refreshing to hear that I'm not the only one, but also how you navigated that as well seems, well, one, you had to, but you might as well enjoy the process as much as you can rather than just fighting it.
That's it. It involved a lot of surrendering. I say, to start with, didn't surrender, wasn't wanting to be vulnerable, wasn't wanting to open myself up. But as a lot of this stuff with a spiritual kind of journey, you've got to see the opportunities or the golden nuggets within it. And until I learned to surrender fully, I was going to continue heaving my guts up. But once I surrendered to the ocean, once I surrendered to me, to the whole experience, the seasickness went away, which was curious. So that to me was that sign that I had allowed that strength within me to start to be shown. And yeah, I completely agree. We have this misconception of vulnerability is weak.
Mm. Well, it nicely ties into the third question, which is how do you think or see societal expectations around women affecting the concept of strength?
To me, there's still such a strong focus on being a good girl, being a people pleaser, being seen in a certain way as a woman in society. And if you don't fit that mold, that society's expectations, you can be seen as hard, you can be seen as a bitch. If you kind of put quite strong boundaries in place, which to me about being strong is and allowing ourselves to be who we are, it's about putting firm boundaries in place, and that doesn't kind of go well, and it's society's expectations that as women you shouldn't have strong boundaries because then you're just seen as too hard, too tough, no emotions. Then there's also society's expectations on the other side of the scale that women are just seen as emotional, just uh, piles of just emotion and just tears and everything, and that's considered weak.
Mm.
So it's very hard for us now to navigate through what society's expectations are and redefine that. And I feel that that's what we're being asked to do these days, is redefine what strength is.
It's curious because this 45 strong was born out of, well, in a thought, an idea, but I also know you're working with the female strength or the female's embodiment as well. And I've it's funny, as soon as I scratch the surface, there are dozens, if not hundreds or thousands of other individuals stepping up, men and women,
Mm.
re-exploring the role of a woman and how to allow her to authentically turn up in society. So it's curious how there seems to be a wave happening at the moment
Yeah.
of more people being in this space.
Yeah, I agree. And it isn't just about women, it's about that feminine energy. And that's in men as well as women. And I feel that we're being asked to redefine all of that now. And there is that wave going on where people are exploring who they are and exploring different ways of being and not being tied into all of that expectation.
And what are some common misconceptions about strength that you may have encountered?
I think on what I just touched on just briefly was the fact that to me the misconceptions is the that emotions is weakness, and we think that that by showing those parts then it's weak. And I think that that to me is one of the biggest misconceptions, that um people think that when you can be vulnerable and show these different sides to yourself, that is misinterpreted as being weak. And then also when you come from a place of being heart-centered, again that takes a lot of strength, but people tend to have that misconception that again that is a weakness. But it takes a lot of strength to put those boundaries in place and to come from a place of love, and come from that heart-centered place all the time, and to basically allow yourself to be fully seen. But still there's so much misconception to me in the world that that is twisted and seen as either weak or fake, or that you just kind of like putting it on, that stuff. And it's because it's not widely recognized yet. There's still more people in the camp that think that being strong is being, I suppose, typical British stiff upper lip, not showing any kind of emotion, getting on and doing it, being very much in your masculine action energy, rather than understanding the strength of that feminine, the intuition, the guidance, the flow, and getting that balance between the two of them. We still very much see the masculine qualities, not on about males or men, and masculine qualities of still being that strength, that going out and doing that action based, that not being able to connect to your emotions because emotions are considered irrelevant, considered like feminine and not needed.
That's really curious. And how has your understanding of strength influenced your approach to success and goal setting?
That I think, to me, the more that I have understood that showing emotions is strength and not weakness, and really kind of taking that on board, whereas um, I've grown up thinking that emotions are weak, and that if you show any emotions, that is a sign of weakness. Whereas now that I have realized and recognized that that is a strength, because most people can't show a whole range of emotions, that they can maybe only show that kind of much of emotions. To be able to show the whole breadth of and width of emotions is takes such a lot of strength. And so the more that I recognize that, and then in my business and being able to show those emotions to people, to show my vulnerability through either sharing on social media, during my group sessions, during talks that I do, of showing my vulnerability and showing what I've been through and my journey, that has allowed me to attract so many more clients, and so many more clients um, that resonate with me and resonate with, so that they're true clients, as opposed to just getting people in that pay the bills. And to me, that comes back from me doing my work and on myself, and allowing that, because it's not easy to be to be vulnerable. Um, Not easy at all. And as you know, I put a story on there a few weeks ago, last month, of me crying when I had just launched my book. And that was really difficult to me. I did that. My God, so popular. Everybody loves a crier. That it shows that side of yourself that people need to see, because it gives them permission for them to be able to be vulnerable, for them to be able to embrace all of their emotions, from the crying to the anger, because again, being able to express that anger is so important, and allow that, because that has been suppressed. So being able to express all of those emotions has allowed me to grow my business and attract authentic clients.
Yeah, I'm really, really intrigued about this next answer that you're going to give about, from your experience, what tip or technique can you share with us for developing and nurturing strength? And the reason I'm curious is because it's obvious you've done the work. It's obvious that you're very grounded in yourself and are clear in your space in the world. So yeah, I'm eagerly anticipating the answer for this question.
Thank you. I think one of the biggest tip that I would give to people is give yourself permission to feel. Allow yourself to feel whatever the emotion is, whatever is going on for you. Allow yourself permission to validate what you feel, because and to recognize the difference. So often we come from that mind space, and we may feel something. We may feel something either in our tummy, that gut instinct. We may feel our intuition, or we just may feel that something just doesn't, something's just not right, or I'm just feeling upset, or I'm feeling angry about something. But we squash that down within us, and we tend to then come from the head space, and we try and logicalize it and rationalize why we should be feeling like this, or why we shouldn't be feeling. Normally it's why we shouldn't be feeling this, and just get on and do it, and just kind of man up, as we say, and just carry on. But give yourself permission to feel and to validate what your body is telling you, regardless of what the emotion is, because I feel that the more that we can recognize the emotions within us and give ourselves permission to me, that's the key, giving ourselves permission to feel that, that allows that strength within you to start to come out, because then you get a sense of who you are and really get rooted and centered in who you are. But that only comes about from when we allow ourselves to explore all the parts of ourselves, the shadow as well as the light.
And is it like, I'm just thinking about the beginner starting there, is there something we can physically do? Because we spend a lot of time in our heads, we spend a lot of time rationalizing, oh, I don't feel this way, or I should feel this way, therefore I'm going to turn off the concern and turn up the joy. Is there something we can physically actually do to learn to listen to our body a bit better?
Yeah, I think the best tip that I would give, and it sounds very simple, but it's not, is in breathe. Breathe into yourself. If you can feel yourself in your head, in whatever's kind of going on, and you're too much in that headspace and focused, just take a couple of moments. That's all it takes, is just a minute, 2 minutes, and just like you're doing now, put your hand on your heart space and just take a few deep breaths. If you feel the need, like just close your eyes and just take a few moments of just conscious breathing, and that brings your attention and your awareness back down into your body, and just focus on breathing into your belly. And that just allows you those couple of moments where you can really start to feel into your body. And by putting your hand on your body, that takes your awareness away from your head and down to where your hand is. Whether you want to put it on your heart, whether you want to put it on your stomach, that's allowing your focus to just switch from that head to allowing you to feel into your body. And so starting with that breath, and then the next stage from that would be, once you feel that you are focused on your body, just visualize yourself scanning your body, starting from your head, going right the way down, and just feel into what, just notice any changes in your body. Notice whether you're feeling anxious, whether you're feeling fearful, whether you're feeling upset. But just taking those, it doesn't need to take any longer than 2 to 3 minutes. And that's brought your awareness back into your body. You've then just scanned to see how you're actually feeling at that moment. And that it just breaks that cycle.
Yeah, I can feel it already. And yeah, that's a really simple tip we can do anywhere, on a bus,
Yeah,
at work, in bed when we wake up or going to sleep. Yeah, it's just an easy 1 minute that recalibrates ourselves and, as you said, grounds us into our space.
it does. And you can do it, say, in public. It doesn't have to be in private, because nobody else knows what you're doing.
We've got to breathe anyway.
Exactly. Everybody has to breathe. It's always advisable.
It's kind of the prerequisite to life, isn't it? Well,
It is.
for the final question, I love asking the first question again. So, what does being strong mean to you?
It is, as I'd said, about allowing all parts of yourself to be shown and to be seen. And I feel that this is where we're kind of heading towards, to allow ourselves to be fully seen. But then also understand that being strong is about putting boundaries in place. It's not about being a people pleaser anymore. It's not about adapting to somebody else's point of view or their opinions, or adapting to how you feel that you should be in their presence. It's about owning who you are and being proud of who you are, and acknowledging all of that, and knowing that it's okay to say no. It's okay to put boundaries in place. That doesn't mean to say that you're hard. That doesn't mean to say that you're not coming from a good place. anymore, that knowing that it's acceptable to be vulnerable, but it's also acceptable to put hard boundaries in place, and that allows us to own who we are, and to me that is true strength.
Very much so. Well, thank you so much, Kirstie, for your time today. As always, it's a huge delight, insight, and pleasure speaking with you. And yeah, I'm looking forward to launching your 45 Strong interview and sharing your message with many, many other men and women who need to hear this.
Yay. Thank you so much, Kate, and thank you for inviting me to be one of your 45 women.